Welcome to That's My Biz, the Internet Business Showcase, where we bring exposure to products, services, and special causes of local businesses and organizations. Thank you so much for joining us. We are coming to you live from the BizLinks TV studio. Brought to you by Southeast Computers, repairs, upgrades, custom builds, and restorations. SoutheastComputersATL.com. Hi everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander, your host of That's My Biz, and as always, we're so excited to bring to you the wonderful businesses that we meet when we're out there networking, other nonprofits and organizations that we run into. We want to let you know about them so that you can make sure that you reach out and you network with them as well. We have a wonderful guest with us today, Miss Sharron Ragan. Welcome, Sharron.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to make sure that you go back and look at this episode again on demand at bizlinks.tv, as well as on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BizLinks TV. Make sure that you subscribe so that you can get all the great information that we share with you today. Now, Sharron is the CEO of Sharron Ragan Brand Marketing, and they provide brand development, logo design, marketing services, and creative expression for transformational entrepreneurs. We're going to get into that so you know exactly what that means. Now, Sharron's mission is to work globally to help entrepreneurs build purposeful and sustainable business brands that are successful and make a difference in the lives of others. Now, that's a lot, but I really want to start with Sharron. I appreciate you coming on today as we talk about branding and marketing, which is so key for small business, especially today. But I want to get into what is a transformational, heart-centered, purpose-driven entrepreneur.
Well, in today's world, I'm finding that so many people are really being driven by this inner purpose. They have this, they're getting nudged, they're getting this feeling that it's time to really step out there and live the purpose that they came in the world to live. And many of these people are business owners. And what we are now finding as we move more and more into the marketing world and with online marketing is that people want to align their purpose with their business. And so we've kind of given this market of individuals, of entrepreneurs, these terms. They're sort of heart-centered. They really want to go out there and make a difference in the world.
Okay, so building a business, but making sure that you're building that business and it has some purpose.
Absolutely. And even the purpose in many areas, there's a lot of new business industries that are emerging in the world right now. And it's not just always a product business. It can be the service business. The healing industry is growing. What we call the conscious business is growing.
Okay.
And so more and more people are moving into that marketplace.
Okay, so then when we talk about all of these different types of businesses, how do they even start tackling their brand?
Well, one of the things that I have seen over the years is that everybody talks about branding, but very few people are talking about what I would call brand development.
Okay.
And if you don't really develop your brand solidly and create an effective brand, then what happens is you're out there branding yourself and you're not branding a very effective brand and things aren't working and people get frustrated. One of the things that we have worked with over the years with individuals is that we have sort of a two-step process, and really this is a corporate process that has been used for many years to develop the big corporate brands. Really and truly, before you go out there and start implementing a lot of tactics, you really need to have what we call as a verbal identity.
Okay.
And you should have that verbal identity before you have that visual identity. A lot of people think a brand is a logo.
Right.
And it's not the logo, it's the comprehensive development of the messages, the identity, the essence, the feeling. It's what we would call, it's all about branding. And so many people don't realize that you really have to create a great foundation of verbal message and what we call thinking about your business before you go acting on your business.
Right. And from what we find, I know so many small businesses that I talk to, they decide that they're ready to start a business and really truly have a skill that they want to make money on, but they call it a business, and then start the business, get someone to design a logo for them and build a website and then just jump on social media.
That's true. That's so true.
So, and then it's marketing, right? So.
It is, and then all of a sudden it's like, how do I market my business?
Right.
It's you just said that it's so interesting that's usually what most people do, and I call that's the rush to the bright, shiny things in business.
Okay.
And people really don't want to think about their business. I mean, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And so. The other hard part is actually also finding the right resources, because you really should work with a professional brand developer when you're ready to build your brand. And also too, if you build your brand, what we call it, in an effective way, you will actually end up saving money in the long run.
I was going to ask you about that, because that was my very next thought was, what does it really cost for a business to do it the right way? Because I know so many start just because they don't have the funds, so they do it the wrong way in starting up instead of making that investment. What should a new business really consider or plan in their budget for this type of brand strategy?
Yeah, it's and sometimes that's a question that many people have asked me over the years. And branding can be very expensive. And here's what I've seen over the years is that many years ago, with small agencies, and most of your advertising agencies are the ones who do branding,
right?
But on the average, a small business owner might pay something like $40,000. Well, who has that kind of money?
Right.
I mean, especially when you're a startup business, or unless you have capital investment. But what I've seen over the years is that a good brand development program can be anywhere between $4,000, and that can include someone helping to develop your messaging, your taglines, your all your documents like your bios, those kind of things, and then also be able to develop a logo as well. So that could be a starting point for some people. But typically, a really good, solid, and effective brand is going to be somewhere between $4,000 and maybe $15,000. $15,000 is going to be for a more mature business that perhaps has been around for a while, because they can put it in their budget. But one thing that is really important for small businesses is that if you can't invest in the beginning in that, is that you do the best you can, and you start saving for that you actually put aside that money, because if you are willing and able to invest that kind of money in your business, it will pay off 10 times. I've seen it happen over and over and over. I've seen people with what I call very ineffective brands. The logo really didn't represent the essence of their business. The messaging really didn't say what they did. But once everything came together and was accurate and truly was like, just like this, when you look at the logo, you hear the message, you see the tagline, people know what you do, it changed the actual revenue of the company. They actually started getting more business.
And so that even makes it sound like you really need to start thinking about this before you even name your business.
That's an interesting concept, Pam. Actually, I tell a lot of people it would be great if you would wait before you named your business, before you build your brand, because what happens sometimes, and this is just a rule that I've used over the years, is that if your business is an abstract name, like let's just say the XYZ company, then your tagline really needs to be descriptive. If your business is descriptive, like Smith Accounting, then you can go to what we call an abstract tagline. But a lot of people don't think about that. And sometimes you could actually develop, if you sat with professionals, you could develop a business name that really is impactful and represents what you do.
Okay, I love that. So I hope you all are taking some notes and getting some good information here. And if you've already started out, so for a business that, they did the best that they could getting started, how do they now rebrand their business? Should they go back and look at changing their company name, or work with their company name and then start working with a brand developer to go forward?
Well, we rarely ever recommend that you change your business name unless that business name is hurting your business. And that's very rare. What we do know is that if you've built a business name, and even sometimes if you have a logo identity, we might actually recommend that what we do is we refresh that or we embellish that, because in most cases, if you've been in business for more than 2 years with that and you've been active in your business, then you have equity in that look. So the goal is to take that look and give you a much what we call a more updated, contemporary look and fresh look that will attract more clients to your business.
Okay. So now, how important is it to be creative when you're thinking about the brand for your business?
It's really important to really sort of unleash your creativity. However, that's hard for most individuals on their own. So we actually have a process that when we work with our clients, that we sort of take them through this creative, what we call ideation or actualization process that helps them understand how to develop a whole creative essence around their business. Again, that will attract more clients because it's all about attracting clients that are going to be attracted to the image that you're putting out there.
Okay. So now tell me, because this sounds like it can be a lot for a business to take in. It sounds like there's a lot of research that goes behind all of this. Is that where your company comes in?
It is. Well, we actually do all the work for you. We do all the thinking for you. The time that an average person would spend with us in our business is we go through what we call an assessment session, which could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, and a lot of times we'll break that up into 2 sessions. But there's a lot of information you have to give us. But once you've given us that information, we actually, with our creative team, we actually start to develop all the languaging for you. We write all the copy. We develop the tagline. We write your biography. We put together your key messages. And actually, that's the most important piece. Key messages being things like, what are your benefits? What are your selling messages? What are the pieces that the client needs to know about you? What are pieces of information that you can have ready in a file on your computer just in case that local reporter calls you and wants an interview, and you've got everything ready for them to just sort of send over to them and not have to scramble and start putting together what is my business all about.
Fantastic. So now, my target audience is everybody. How do I build a brand around that? And she knows I'm being really silly. So many businesses we run into, that's their answer when you ask their target audience. We know you cannot, everybody is not your target audience. So talk a little bit about how knowing your target audience ties into developing your brand.
I'm so glad you asked that because I've heard so many times, well, everybody is my audience.
Right.
What happens is that there's segmentation of audiences, and if you've been in business for a while, if you really sit down and take the time to think about all your clients, those clients will start to define the characteristics. What's the age range? Is it a 25 to 34? Is it a 35 to 44? Is it 55 plus? You really have to say, who's coming to me now? And then you ask yourself, is it mostly women? Is it mostly men? And then you also ask yourself, where do they go? What do they read? Where do they shop? What kind of information are they looking for in terms of making their life or improving their life, making their life better based on the product or service that you as a business may have to offer that person. But really defining your targeted audience, and in fact, that's the number 2 step in our brand process, is that we help that client define their target audience so they'll know who they're going to be marketing to.
Okay, that's wonderful. So now let's just touch a little bit on social media and how that ties into a business really trying to build or develop their brand.
Right, social media is important. And what I tell most people, because most independent entrepreneurs are overwhelmed by what you do on social media. So the number 1 rule is we say pick one, just pick one and focus on that one. And it goes back to any good planning. Social media is only effective for your business if you've really put together a strategy. And so it really does help, and you can advance your business if you're willing to sit down. And once again, it's all about that planning. It's about thinking about your business. But I've seen small businesses really build their awareness and their presence and maybe even some of their business by thinking through what they're going to post and linking it to maybe a specific campaign about what they're doing at the time. And when you start pulling all those pieces together, and actually it can be done very simply, but my number one, I said my rule in social media is to plan and really sort of sit down and think through before you just kind of wildly start posting every day.
Okay. Now, is there one social network that's better than another when it comes to building a brand?
Well, of course, the business social networking site is LinkedIn, and everybody likes to stay on Facebook. Facebook can be effective. However, LinkedIn is really where your professionals are, and I tell most people to focus your time on LinkedIn because that's where you can, not only can you cultivate maybe business relationships with other businesses that you could partner with, you're also going to cultivate more professional individuals that are very serious about their business, or shall I say more serious than maybe some individuals that are on Facebook. You can also cultivate prospects, I think, a lot easier on LinkedIn than you can on Facebook.
Okay, and I definitely agree with that when you're talking about just growing a business. So now tell me about Paint Journey. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, Paint Journey. Well, Paint Journey is not something you'd associate with business.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a professional artist, and I'm an abstract painter. And many years ago, I actually took some courses in some art therapy and what we call expressive painting. And one of the things that I learned in my own career, having been in a creative industry all my life, is that painting can actually help you release a lot of challenges or different blocks that you may have in your life. And after I got trained in the Paint Journey, I thought, I think I'll create a Paint Journey program or a retreat that's for business owners, so that business owners can experience an opportunity to do what we call process painting. It's not about being an artist. It's not about having any art talent or creativity that you think you may or may not have. It's all about using paint to express and awaken what we kind of call that intuitive creativity that you're born with. And so I've taken a lot of entrepreneurs through this process, and it's an amazing experience. And many of them come back time and time again when we do these retreats.
And it definitely sounds like I can see folks just getting more creative, and when you get more creative, because I think of the silliest thing that I can think of, and then we can rein it in to get more creative with our brand, and when we're thinking about different campaigns that we want to run for the year. So, I mean, it sounds like that's just a great opportunity. You get out of your head, you kind of think a little bit differently because you're focusing using a different part of your brain, so to speak.
That's exactly right. And as a matter of fact, I think that the important part is I've been in the creative industry for over 30 years, and I have probably had thousands of people who've walked up to me when they have learned that I'm in some sort of creative business, and the first words out of their mouth is, I'm not creative.
Right.
And so over the years, I started looking back at that individual and saying, why do you say that? And it's usually because someone told them at some point in their life that they weren't creative or they didn't have creative talents or skills. And it's not just about painting, it's about any kind of creativity. And so that was also one of my goals, was to create some kind of a retreat that would actually help people recognize that there's creativity that lives within you, and it can be used in your business, it can be used in your life, and it can be used to just actually help you become more peaceful and joyful in your life. So I just thought it was important to really encourage people to tap into that creative part of themselves.
That's good. Now, you also talk about the inner brand. Explain what that is a little bit.
Well, when we work with our clients in developing the brand process, I believe that a brand has to reflect who you are inside. There are some people that want to create a brand that perhaps doesn't represent them, or they may not be ready for a brand of that type yet, because you can always refresh your brand and take your brand to a different level as your business grows. But what we do is we really work closely with the individual to make sure that we're clearing who they are and what they are as we begin to build their business. Because if you don't really have a clear and solid connection to who you are as an individual, people find it very difficult to go out there and sell their service or their product.
Yeah.
And so we really have a couple of exercises that we help people clear any of those blocks that's keeping them stuck from really stepping out there and tap into that inner brand.
That's great. I love that. And this is a perfect segue into some of your workshops. Before we go, let everyone know about some of the workshops that you provide.
Well, we provide a marketing workshop, which is basically about learning how do you brand yourself, and then how do you develop a marketing strategy around that brand, and that's a one-day workshop. We also have marketing masterminds where we bring people together, and you're collaborating not only with me, and I'm guiding and facilitating the group, but you're collaborating with other business owners. And the purpose of our marketing masterminds is to bring people together to support each other, because being an independent entrepreneur, it's pretty lonely out there. And our term is we bring people together who have each other's back and who are there to walk through the fears with you. So, and then in the fall of this year, we're also going to be rolling out what we call Branding with Purpose, and it's going to be a 3-day event that will showcase all about branding and how to truly align your brand with your business.
I love that. Everyone make sure that you get in touch and get prepared to find out about that event, because I love that idea, because there's a lot that's out there just on marketing, but not something where it's multiple days talking about branding.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. So make sure, and speaking of which, make sure you tell everyone how they can get in touch with you so they can find out about what's coming up.
Yes, you can go to my website, which is www.sharronragan.com. And Sharon has 2 R's in it, Sharron, and Ragan is spelled Ragan.
Fantastic. SharronRagan.com. Make sure that you all go out there. Go ahead and reach out to Sharon now, whether you're brand new, you're thinking about starting a business. This is the perfect time to reach out. But if you just start your business, or if you've been in business for several years and you feel you need that brand refresh, or maybe you never really quite built the brand and you want to make sure that you do that now, make sure that you reach out to Sharon. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, too. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. We appreciate your time, everyone. Make sure that you watch this episode again on demand at www.bizlinks.tv. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BizLinksTV. Give us some thumbs up. Give us some feedback. Let us know what some of your brand challenges are when you watch Sharon's episode. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/BizLinksTV. I'm Pamela Alexander, your host of That's My Biz. And with BizLinks TV Network, remember, we want to expose your business to the world. Thank you for joining us. Today's show can be viewed on demand on our website at www.bizlinks.tv. If you are interested in having your products, services, or special cause showcased on our program, submit an inquiry to that'smybiz@bizlinks.tv. In addition, information on advertising and hosting your own show can be found on our website at bizlinks.tv.